Sheriff Bear here again, joined with, as if you've read the title, Juju again. Whatever would we do without Juju?
Yeah, I'm the content.
He is the content, everybody. Look, the title of the video is something that I think has only gotten worse in recent years, that being the pride of the United States. No, I'm not talking about gay pride, I'm talking about national pride, loving the country, being proud to be an American. You don't see that hardly anywhere anymore. And myself, sometimes I wonder if myself and a few people are the only ones who are proud to live here with the amount of crap you see in the world. I've spoken to Europeans and they hate us, which I don't care if they hate us, but I've also spoken to Europeans in the aspect that they're proud to be from their country, like Belgium, Denmark, Britain, and we don't have you talk to an American. I've spoken to many fellow Americans, you know, and then before I reveal to them that I'm a U.S. resident, if they don't know me for saying it's my first time talking to them, I'll go, "Where do you live?" And they'll say America, unfortunately. Juju, for wisdom, have you seen anything remotely similar?
All the time, all the time, and it's kind of going back in my high school days, and even college days now. I've kind of seen the similar things of like statewide, and branches out to being the whole country of people pretty much just saying they're not proud to be here anymore. And I've heard of people just want to leave but they don't ever want to leave. I hate America. I hate this and I hate that. I hate all of these things, but they never leave, you know. Um and on our channel, that's one thing we're all about is America, and we deal with a lot of older cars and stuff like that when, a lot of American pride was put into that kind of stuff. Nowadays, the majority of parts from cars now come from China, Europe, you know, all over the place. Not here, Mexico, even, but they're not here. Whereas, in the 60s and 70s and 50s, cars were being made completely here in Detroit and other plants around the country, and now it's not the same. And people, I guess, when a lot of the businesses and stuff tried to, started to go away, I think a lot of the pride went away too, with people not being proud to be here. And I've asked people, and me personally, I've never got a straight answer. It's always just an emotional answer. I feel like there's so much better. I feel like Germany such a better country. Have you ever been there? No, but I just feel like it's a better country because America's mean because the police officers pull people over. It's all emotional, and there's no, I've never, me personally, I've never got a legitimate, like, okay, you don't like a country, okay, and you're planning on moving, okay, you have a legitimate reason, okay, that's fine, that's cool, I could respect that. But me personally, I've never, for me asking people who say those things that they don't like America, they don't like a certain state, or they don't like the way things are done, or they hate the government because of one thing or this or that, they never give a um, legitimate, logical explanation as to why. It's always an emotional reason. It's they feel some way, and I guess it is emotional because we obviously you feel pride for a country, right?
Oh, yeah.
Um, but the logical reason behind that is it's our home. Why wouldn't we love a place where we're from? Why
You,
wouldn't we,
you should
you know,
definitely love your home. If you don't love your home, why are you there?
exactly. And I think a lot of the, like I said, a lot of the pride and stuff, it is gone. A lot of it, majority, and it's these people, they never give a logical to me. They never have given a logical explanation. It's always something that they feel emotionally. So
So, in recent, to try to stay away from the political side as possible. I'm not trying to politicize this. But in recent months, maybe even the last year, I keep forgetting we're in 2023.
Yeah.
it, Last year, 2022, there was a person or a group of people that I had been speaking to. Now, all of these people live in the US, they were born here, and they were talking about rewriting the US Constitution, not just adding an amendment, but rewriting it. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. You know, the Constitution is a piece of American pride. It's worked for 300 years and longer. I don't know the exact amount of years, but it's worked for over 300 years. Why do you, I don't understand why people think it needs to change. Do you have any insight on that?
Well, I think a lot of people they want it to change as far as them wanting it to change. I believe that they want it to change as a fact of they want it to conform to their beliefs, right? Say you're anti-gun, right? You don't want guns, so you want to go and change the amendment that allows the right to bear arms. And people who aren't in that power to say we can actually change it, the first thing they always say is, well, if you the Second Amendment was made back in the day, it was made back in, all these years ago, 1700s, and they're like, well, that's for muskets, that's for that. Well, it never specifies what gun, and it never specifies really and truthfully, um, that those guns are for hunting. It right
It
to bear arms
absolutely
against the
does not.
tyrannical government,
Absolutely, that
you
is
know.
entirely what it is for.
And a lot of these people now, I'm all for guns. I've shot a lot of guns, and I'm all for people, if you do it legally,
Stay strapped.
you know, if you legally own, your ARs, your AK-47s, your scars, all those guns, 50 cals, those if you legally have them, and I'm all for it, but I'm just saying this, when you start banning these guns, changing the amendments and everything like that, the criminals, it's not going to stop the criminals from getting a gun. I mean, if they have no remorse to shoot somebody, what makes you think they're going to have remorse not to buy a gun off the black market? I
Exactly.
mean, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Um, whereas like it's all these things of like you can't do, well, they're not going to be able to buy them, like they can steal them. They I mean, because I mean, you got to understand how many guns there actually are that are unmarked.
The ghost guns have become such a problem. There's over 1 million confirmed ghost guns. Keyword
Exactly.
confirmed. These are just
So,
the ones we know about.
you know, and really and truthfully, I'm not saying all of them are bad. I mean, somebody, some of these older guns, these folks, their grandparents might have had this gun, and you know, just at old age and everything, doesn't have a serial number on it, just all this stuff. It's not saying that everybody who has one's going to go out and shoot somebody. That's not what I'm saying at all. But you know, of course, people who do, your criminals, they're not going to care that you've banned guns. If anything, it's going to increase it because the people who are law-abiding citizens aren't going to have a way to protect themselves. So, as far as, and that's just on the Second Amendment. You want to talk about like freedom of speech. They
That's
don't
a
understand that freedom of
dangerous
speech.
thing to play with. Very dangerous.
Yeah, they don't understand that it goes both ways, right? And if you have the right to say what you feel, then I have the right to say what I feel, right?
Absolutely.
And when it starts to offend them, they want to change it because they want to conform it to go to their side, and I can have a conversation with somebody civil. I've had it before. You can have civil arguments, not necessarily, but yeah, they're arguments, but they're civil. It's a conversation of a disagreement. Whereas you're not two people standing on the sidewalk yelling at each other at the top of your lungs because you get nowhere like that. You get nowhere. You might not get anywhere just talking to somebody, but you're more progressive in just talking to them in a civil way. But see, that's not how they want. They want to they want to yell louder than you so you can't be heard. As long as they're yelling louder and screaming louder, you'll just say they're stupid and walk away. And that's what they want because they want to feel like they're right and they want to swing everything that they can to their, you know, their side
Oh yeah,
to agree with them. And it goes both ways. I mean, there's really and truthfully, there's some um, people both left and right that are the same way. Genuinely speaking, I mean,
absolutely,
there's
I agree.
I mean, it go. I mean, literally, I'm not just talking about one side. It's really on both sides, really and truthfully. There's the people who um are there's the right wing people that will get the same way. Me personally, as long as if you can sit down and have a conversation with me, I don't care what you believe in. I'm willing to have a conversation. That's how I feel about it. No matter what you are. But like I said, it does go both ways. So I don't want to think that I'm just talking about one group of people because it does go both ways a lot of times, especially nowadays with a lot of people, especially with cameras too.
Oh,
Um,
cameras.
cameras, and I don't want to talk about because it's really not what we're supposed, not the subject, but I think a lot of the cameras and stuff, because cameras are a good way to show proof, right? A great way to show proof, but it's always, you watch a lot of YouTube videos and stuff, and I bring up that because you come across like the compilations, like the Karen neighbor compilations, right? And like it'll be a Karen recording or somebody, and they will never record the incident. They always record the argument after, and they act totally different when they start recording, and they want to change the narrative. It happens a lot more often, and so I'm just saying that it goes like I mean, there's on both sides, and especially nowadays, a lot of times because nobody can. It's like a lot of people. It's hard to find people, and it kind of goes with American pride, really and truthfully. Um, Nobody owns up to their mistakes anymore.
Oh
Nobody
yeah.
owns up to the problems. Everybody would rather argue and yell when a problem arises as opposed to fixing it. Whereas in, 1941, when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, instead of arguing and crying, we went to war. And, we all know how that ended. So I'm just saying, I'm using that as an example to say,
You know,
a long time ago, there was, stuff
it's
happening.
it's a good example, and I've heard it said 1,000 times. The only thing that would bring the U.S. back together is war. Would you agree with that statement?
Well, really and truthfully, I don't know. Okay, in theory, in a perfect world, I would say yes. Because I would love the country to be together. I really, and this is just me. I think, there was these people. I think the last time, and it was a bad thing that happened. But I think one of the last times that the country was really united, there was two times recent um was 9/11. Majority of the United States, right? Was 9/11, and then when we killed Osama bin Laden. I think those were two times that were really, truthfully, the last time the majority of the country was united as one. Where people, I mean, there's a video of the baseball game. It's like a World Series baseball game, I think, that was going on.
Right.
Then, and just out of nowhere, phones started popping up. They killed Osama bin Laden. They just start chanting USA, USA, and everybody in the stands, it's like 30, 40,000 people screaming USA. And it's crazy. I mean, that's all you can hear. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think they actually stopped the baseball game. They had to because nobody knew what was going on. And, and like I said, that plus 9/11. But you look at things look at like Vietnam, right? Which lasted a long time. They were
Disunited the
drafting
country.
people. Yeah. And then you look at like Desert Storm, and then you look at like the later years after 9/11, like the last 10 years of Afghanistan. It gets to a point where a lot of people, they think it's worthless. And I mean, war is never great. Don't get me wrong. I've never, I don't think, I mean, it's necessary. I do think that. I think that a lot of times justified. It's never right. Okay, I mean, I'm not inhumane to say, oh, war is the only way, but a lot of times it was the only way. Like in World War II, when we got attacked, it was the only way. There was no peace talks after that. There was only one
No,
way that was going to go down,
there was dead
you know?
people. We had to go to war.
Exactly. And 9/11 was
Dead people.
there was only one way. Mass attacks on U.S. soil was only one, to me. And,
There is only
you
one
know,
way. We were attacked, and we're gonna defend
yeah,
ourselves.
exactly. And so I think, I don't know though. I really enjoy like with the general question of would a war unite the people? I really don't know. Especially within the last like 4 or 5 years, the way things have been, I really don't know. I couldn't tell you, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the country seems to get more divided with each passing day, and that only further hurts the pride of the country. All I'm asking for, I'll set my political beliefs aside. They're very obvious, but I'll set them aside. All I'm asking for is for when you walk into a room, you see an American flag, and you don't you and people just don't go like scoffing at it or being like, "Oh wow, fuck the U.S." and the people who are saying "fuck the U.S." be U.S. citizens. That is something that no other country really realistically does, other than possibly China, who's in civil unrest right now. But no country that is at peace like we are openly says they hate their country. And I just don't get it. Do we have
Yeah.
problems? Yes, but is that a
Yeah.
reason to hate the country? No.
I mean, it's understandable to not like certain things, right? I mean, it's your rights. I mean, you don't have to like everything. I mean, there's things I don't like. I mean, I don't like $4 a gallon gas. I mean, who likes that? But I mean, that doesn't, create me to say, oh man, I hate America because of my gas is high. I mean, it's that's that's just not a reason. I mean, if that's your reason, then you're a kid, you're a child. I mean,
if
nobody likes it,
if
but
your
you
reason for
not liking a
hating your
country,
country is entirely political, it's childish.
yeah, exactly. Because especially in the United States, where it's strictly up to the people. Debatable the last time, we're not gonna go into that, but majority up to the people. I mean, that's like a lot of people when they overturned Roe versus Wade. I'm not gonna go into it too deep, but it gave the power back to the states. A lot of people got mad at that. Well, just vote. Go out and vote. Register to vote.
Yeah,
it's vote for who you want to vote
and
for.
you know, the I'm gonna get way too deep into it, and someone's gonna flame me in the comments, but I don't care. Roe v. Wade wasn't overturned over a political issue. It was overturned because the Supreme Court realized it did not have the legal jurisdiction to make that kind of thing. And as Juju has said, if you are pro choice, go vote in your state to get those laws approved locally.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. I mean, of course, I understand there are some circumstances, right? But in the same time, like it's a simple matter of it's giving more power to the states. It's giving the people more freedom to
Yeah.
have a voice and have a vote. I mean, whether or not you believe it or not, I mean, it's your vote. Like some states don't have it, some states have it, and the people who don't want it, I don't hear the people. I've never, and I'm sure they're all the people, but I never once personally heard the people who were against it, um, like against pro-life. Let me just say that. Um, the people who are pro-life, I never once heard them getting frustrated and angry. It was a simple just let's go vote. And I'm sure there are the people. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's 100,000 people who are pro-life that were like, when it overturned, they're like, oh my gosh. You know, I mean,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
against it personally, but that's just me. Um, but it's just I don't know. It's kind of the same thing of like it's just they look at the small picture. They don't look at the bigger picture of it,
You know,
where it's giving more freedom to the states and the
I
people.
I think we've identified our problem. I think the reason people hate this country, or at least part of the reason, is because when something doesn't go their way, instead of having a meeting like we used to, they just blow up and they want to protest. Because the instant Roe v. Wade overturned, there was no, okay, let's call Congress together and talk about this. It was, let's take to the streets and protest.
Exactly. And that's the way things are now. And I'm okay. If you strongly believe with something, if you want to protest, it's your right.
It is. It
There's right.
absolutely
There's a
is.
right to assemble. That's that's a part of the Constitution that they want to change. So they don't but it's a right to assemble, and that is your right. Whereas there's a difference between peaceful protest and burning down a target. Two different things.
Burning
And
down a target.
I'm there's this I'm sorry, but you know two totally different things. Um, and that's what a lot of things happen. I'm not saying that the people who were against the overturning of Roe v. Wade were going out and burning up the local post office. I don't know, maybe, but I'm sure. But still, a lot of the things were like it's just there's a difference between assembling on the sidewalk and blocking 4 lanes of traffic at 5 o'clock in the afternoon when people are trying to get home. And then get mad when somebody runs you over. Like you're in traffic, you're impeding traffic. It's against the law
A lot of
to
states
impede
are
traffic.
making it legal to run protesters over now.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna say anything about that. I'm not gonna say anything about that. I'm not
there
gonna say a thing about that. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut on that.
it is. No, I totally agree. If you are actively blocking the roadway during busy hours, you're asking to get hit.
Yeah, I mean, of course, is it wrong to run somebody morally wrong to run somebody over? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Um, but is it against the law to impede traffic? Yes. And it's not like somebody was doing, it's just if you don't get out of the way, you're gonna find out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's it is what it is.
But at the end of the day, our closing remarks here should be, I think we can all agree, you should love your country regardless of your political party. You should love your country. And instead of just slaughtering each other, and in some instances, literally killing each other over political crap, instead of assembling in the hall of Congress that we, the people, constructed, is defeating the entire point of having a government, and it defeats the entire idea that this country was built upon. Not that one person can rule, but the people shall rule and assemble in Congress and make a plan and make the laws that we agree with, laws that we want. That's why Congress exists. I know it doesn't seem like it anymore because Congress, debatably really isn't working for the people. But at the end of the day, that is what the system is built to do. And we should take that back and at least just be happy to live in the US. Because I don't want to pull the old person line, oh, you don't know how good you have it. But literally, you do not know how good you have it. Even in Canada, it is incredibly different, right wise. You have anything to close on, Juju?
I just kind of want to agree with you. I mean, I feel like me personally, I have a lot of American pride. That's just me. Um, I think that that every country has its faults, right? Um, and that's just a country. That's life.
Oh, yeah.
But instead of putting your country down, why not get off the couch and try to make a difference? Whatever you believe, do something about it. Even if I don't agree with it or somebody doesn't agree with it, whoever doesn't agree with it, that's the joy of America. You have the right to have the chance to make change. That's the whole point of the country is you as an average person have the right to at least have the chance to make a change. But it can only be change if you make the move to create change.
100%.
And that's about all I have to say about that.
Well, folks, thanks for tuning in to this another elongated podcast. This topic was pretty good, and if you have anything you want us to talk about, it has yet to be used, but please use the comment section. And if you do want to have a discussion with either one of us in the comment section, keep it respectful, and disrespectful comments will be deleted. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crowned thy good with brotherhood from sea